A pandemic where if you fall asleep, you die. Guess I'll die.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Greetings, fellow mortals. Just a reminder saying it's just my opinion is for cowards. There are about 3 celebrities that I love and support no matter what happens, and Markiplier is at the top of that list. I've been following the guy since he had about like 10,000 subscribers way back in the day, and I have seen basically everything that he's put out. So imagine my shock when I find out that his new show, The Edge of Sleep, came out not from Amazon or Mark himself, but from some random account on Twitter that I follow. And here I was having my full attention on Iron Lung. Hey, why didn't anyone tell me about this? I would have screamed it from the heavens that it was coming out weeks upon weeks before it actually released. Thank God the Markiplier fanbase told me, because if we didn't know, then the show would have bombed and then we wouldn't get anything more from him. Because I have yet to see any advertisement for it at all. It feels like Amazon just put it out there to die, like they were embarrassed to be working with a YouTuber. Literally, all they needed to get everyone's attention was a 10-second ad saying, "This Halloween season, join Markiplier in his terrifying story of The Edge of Sleep." If that was in everyone's feed, then The Edge of Sleep wouldn't only be in the top 10 on Amazon, it would actually be number 1. I can promise you that. The Markiplier fan base is insane.
Shut up and take my money!
As for the quality of the show itself, I have 2 different mindsets. There's the Markiplier fan in me that says this is perfect, nothing needs to be changed, I'm gonna watch it over and over and over again. And there is the more critical storytelling part of me that sees a few problems that needed to be fixed. I don't know if it has to do with the writing itself or the fact that a lot of the actors were overacting at the very start of the show, but the characters took a while to click with me. Except oddly enough for Mark's character, Dave. Mark seemed very comfortable in the role and the character was very fleshed out from the very beginning. I can separate myself from the internal Markiplier fan in me and look at this objectively, and he was in fact the best actor and character in the show. Which makes sense, he is the draw and the main character of the show. I just think that the first couple of episodes needed a little bit of rework, either with the writing or getting the actors a little bit more practice with those characters. But you did get to watch as everyone adapted and got themselves into their roles as time went on, so that could be considered a positive as well. It just felt a little shaky at the beginning with the characters, that's all I'm saying. That first episode I was just like, eh. Another minor nitpick I have was the medicine. Now, a lot of it was made up. There is not a machine that lets you observe people's dreams. I get that. But also, there were plenty of real life medicine in the show that they messed up and got completely wrong, and I know this because my wife is a nurse practitioner and she never lets it pass. She has to tell me every single time a show, a movie, or a book gets medicine wrong, and then she tells me that she will not let me get away with bad medicine in my own writing. So there you go. Lately, I've come to the conclusion that if you're going to do healthcare in a show, you need to bring on a consultant, preferably a nurse practitioner, because they're a lot nicer and better communicators than doctors. Just saying.
This is brilliant, but I like this.
And the final nitpick I have is at the very end, when the show decided to dump a bunch of exposition. It simultaneously explained too much, but also not enough. In any sort of fantasy, you either need to go to one extreme or the other. You either need to explain everything or nothing at all. And if you go into the middle ground between those two extremes, then you're probably going to trip and fall. I get that they wanted people to come back for season 2, but also we can admit that it wasn't the best execution possible. But besides those small issues, I thought the show was very, very, very good. The premise feels like 28 Days Later meets Nightmare on Elm Street meets Legion in all the best ways possible. At first, you're left confused by everything. The dreams, the different characters, and even the title intro. And the greatest positive with the characters is the fact that they're smart enough to realize what's happening basically around the same time that you do, meaning that you're not left completely frustrated by them being complete idiots. There's also the benefit of them being exhausted from being awake for far too long. If they do anything illogical, inconsistent, or sporadic, it's because they've been awake for days. Oh no, our car broke down. Let's spend a bunch of time fixing it instead of, I don't know, going into all these houses that we already broke into to check on people, stealing their keys and taking their cars, because they're not going to need their vehicles when they're dead and you're already in an apocalypse, so who cares? Plus the desperation to survive when really it doesn't make any sense to. I mean, society's gone, everyone's dead. Even if you do find a way to fix things and you're no longer on a time limit yourself, you still have the problem of living on your own with what? A handful of people at best. Even if you do know how to farm and to hunt, you still need a community around yourself in order to survive. That's how humans work. Not gonna lie, I would definitely not fight that hard in this type of apocalypse. If everyone I knew and loved was already gone, I'd probably grab a bunch of alcohol, lounge in bed, drink, and use the last of the electricity to watch my favorite movies until I passed out. You can call me a quitter or a coward or whatever, but if everyone I loved was already gone, I'd probably just go for the painless death. But if the characters weren't desperate to survive, there really wouldn't be a story, so there you go. Considering their situation, their fatigue, and their overall characters, every decision made perfect sense, which is good because this is a very character-driven story. If they were acting irrationally in your head, then you wouldn't be able to connect with anything. What they chose to do was the plot, and beat by beat, as the story continued, you understood where they were coming from. So as the story went on, the characters clicked, the plot made sense, and the setting was very eerie with everyone being dead in their own beds, and the entire town being completely abandoned because, you know, everyone's already gone. Which was perfectly pointed out by the cinematography. With every shot, you could feel how alone they actually were. The aesthetics definitely didn't feel YouTuber-esque or B-level. Everything was clear and well shot. You could feel the solitude in the situation. You could sense the fear of dying in your sleep. And there was also the surreal aspects of the dreams themselves, which was where the Legion comparison came in. I sensed a big Legion inspiration during the more surreal aspects of the show, including flashbacks, ads, the intro sequence, and in the dreams themselves. And guess what? Getting compared to Legion is never a bad thing.
Hello? I love you.
The effects were pretty good too. Some of the CGI, especially with the whales, didn't look that great at times, but it helped that they tried to be as practical as possible in every other situation. Plus, despite being an Amazon show, the pace was very brisk and fast. With 6 episodes at 20 to 25 minutes a piece, it really feels like a movie divided into separate parts. A lot of modern shows pad out their episodes with a lot of nonsense because they need to get to that hour mark. But not this. It never felt like it was wasting my time with anything, and you know what? I appreciate that. By the end, I was both satisfied and I wanted more, and that is a perfect cocktail for any story. It's nice to have a new scary story for the Halloween season that isn't just another slasher film. Not to say that that type of genre is bad, it's just not for me because it really doesn't scare me. Ideas like this are things that scare me more. I wouldn't say that The Edge of Sleep is completely unique. You can definitely feel the different elements that it pulled from other stories, but here's the thing. Every single tale you've ever heard was inspired by something else. The key is pulling all of those different elements together and making a new identity, and The Edge of Sleep does that perfectly. I gotta say, it's nice that Markiplier's show was actually good. I would have liked it and watched it no matter what, but the fact that there's real quality in it is very helpful. There were a few aspects that needed some polishing, but besides that, it was fantastic. fantastic, and Markiplier was great in it. And now I get to suggest this to everyone based off of its own merit, instead of requesting that people watch it because I want to support Markiplier. I will now go recommend this to every single person I know, including you. If you haven't seen The Edge of Sleep, go watch it now, and then watch it again, and then tell everyone you know to watch it so that we can support Markiplier, because he is the one internet personality left that I actually trust. I swear, if something terrible comes out against him, I would just lose all faith in humanity at this point. But what did you think? Did you see The Edge of Sleep? Did you like it? Did you hate it for some reason, you weirdo? Please leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And remember, if you disagree with everything I have to say, that is perfectly fine. After all, everyone is entitled to their objectively wrong opinion.
The Edge of Sleep is available right now. I couldn't say that before for reasons that I still do not fully understand.
But why? Why would you do that? Why would you do any of that?
Thank you all so much for watching.
You're still here?
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. You bye. Boom.
Do not despair.